episode
Master.
572. Oh my God. It's Delilah After Dark over there.
That was kind of, Delilah. My voice is kind of like that. I don't know why. Like,
like
you know
it.
what? Maybe it's like dry out here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
now I sound like that.
Mm-hmm.
Delilah After Dark.
Very
that's
sexy.
good. That's extra.
How the hell are you now that it's December?
December
'Tis
to
the season.
remember. This is going to be the first year where I take out no decorations all year.
What? Sarah?
I think I'm not going to.
You're not in the spirit?
I mean, no, I'm in like the moving spirit.
Yeah. That's a different one, yeah.
It's like it's a different kind of spirit. It's a more
Minimalist
spirit. Yeah. And like, I don't know what it is about, like, I've just been consolidating more and more and more and more and like realizing how much stuff I have that I don't need that I can get rid of. So check out my Poshmark store. Hey.
Right. I saw a tweet that made me think of you. It said that moving to Colorado is the male equivalent of cutting bangs.
Oh my God. I totally am doing that. That seems on brand for me.
Because you have a masculine energy.
Yes, I do. I do.
like,
and
this
every
suits
test,
her.
I took a test that they gave us for the challenge, for the show, for MTV. And
were you on that show?
remember that?
MTV's The Real World?
You're making me laugh today. And it's the therapist was like, yeah, your results say that you are what they call a tomboy personality.
Oh, boy.
And he said that me and Emily Schramm had the similar test results. And we both moved to Denver.
Is she straight or is she a les? I don't even know.
She dated women, and now I think she's with a man now.
I wonder if that is what that means generally. The quote tomboy thing. I hate that word, by the way.
Me too.
That's such a strange thing that we've all accepted.
Is. Yeah, what is that word? Tomboy?
Right.
What
And
even
there's
is that?
There's not like
That's
an
like a
equivalent.
lady man. It's so weird.
Yeah. And what the hell?
What is that?
That was a personality test to make sure you weren't cuckoo or what?
Yeah, I think so. It was like, I think it was the MMPI. Which
this is insane.
all that was is just like I answered questions like you would find taking apart a car engine interesting. Yeah, I would.
Oh my God.
It's like I'm like highly pragmatic and like
I hate it. I don't know
pro-
why I'm mad. Sarah
What?
knows I've been so wound up on our Patreon. We have a 15 minutes
Susie,
of blame.
don't get me started.
So on there, we talk about reality TV, mostly the challenge.
Yeah.
And after we recorded the last one, I text Sarah and I was like, was that too much? Should I edit things out? And you told me not to, but like, I'm so mad. Are you feeling it?
Susie, let me tell you what happened. I caught as much of it as I could. I was scrolling through the free TV on like TV Plus that I have. Like if you have a streaming, one of those like smart TVs or whatever, there's like a free TV that's on there. There is a station
Oh no.
called The Challenge.
No.
I click it. Susie, guess what scene it is?
What?
Guess. There are only two that you can guess that are the ones that are awful.
Yeah. Take the money and run.
Not that one.
Oh, the naked run.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Look at how good we are. I mean, come on.
Right. Trauma number one, trauma number two.
And it's one of those. It's one of the two. It's which one? Pick your poison. Like so. Yeah, it was that
You
one.
flipped on a
the
TV show
moment, and
you
that,
saw yourself.
Yes.
In the buff.
It is called it could be any, and that was like 5 seasons ago. So it's like random of all the ones. I caught the just the end of it, and I catch it just in time for Wes to say, I see Sarah and Bananas running, and they look disgusting.
He doesn't say that.
Yes, or they look gross. One of the two words, but either way, the takeaway is as somebody who like former body image issues, just here's
Wow, I'm
your
so
body
sorry.
and you're gross. And I'm just like, this is...
It's trauma.
It is. And it's really hard to like keep pointing out the system that this is taking place in and how that is the problem. And we are looking at individual issues. They are all very important, but like, it's kind of like that ants in a jar thing. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
It's like black ants and red ants, and you put them in a like jar, and something about like if you shake the jar, they fight. And they like are getting mad at each other, but we need to be asking who's shaking the jar. Mm-hmm. Fucking MTV and Buena Murray are shaking the jar.
Right.
And I understand that this is a like formula. This has been going on for a long time. This is a you know, like, what's the word? Legacy TV show. Like, this is not going anywhere. I'm not saying it needs to go anywhere. We just need to make some adjustments and recognize things that need to be done, like a zero tolerance policy and aftercare and an on-call therapist and somebody who's like a psychologist who's watching this so they can step in so we don't have judgment in the hands of 28-year-old producers.
Yeah. Well, and we've been squawking about it for years, and maybe someday they'll listen.
Maybe. But that's the crazy part. It's like, hello. And they're like, what? What? We don't know about any of this. Really?
Yeah.
Susie's written articles for years.
They can't hear it.
Did you not have a subscription?
They can't hear it over the sound of them counting their own money.
Oh, God. For real.
But if you would like to, let us monetize our trauma, you could join our patreon.com.
Right.
Brain Candy.
Where we talk about all this and then some.
Yeah, but I mean, whatevs. If you're feeling as worked up about it as we are, you might be feeling dehydrated, and if you are, you might want to try Liquid IV.
I am feeling dehydrated, actually. Thanks.
Are you? Well, didn't you just say that about your voice? Maybe you
maybe that's
just need a good acai berry or whatever. Did you see that they have a caramel apple?
Stop.
Yes.
That heated up?
Right?
With some brandy.
Little hot toddy action.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Liquid IV allows you to hydrate. It's a great little hangover cure.
That's also a fun stocking stuffer.
A great stocking stuffer, or it could counteract your alcohol if you're making the hot toddy. That would be a great stocking stuffer, though. It's great if you're going to the gym, you want to keep them in your car, give them to your kid after their games. It's just really great to have on hand.
Not the hot toddy, just the
maybe
Liquid
a lemon
IV.
lime.
Come on, lemon lime.
Yeah, because they have tons of flavors. Strawberry, watermelon, passion fruit, all that stuff.
Yes.
Grab your favorite Liquid IV flavors nationwide at Walmart, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use our code CANDY at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order when you get better hydration today using promo code CANDY at liquidiv.com.
I was somewhere. I was at a friend's house, or I was somewhere recently, and I saw they had a bag of Liquid IV, and it was a place that it was not appropriate for me. It was like a friend of a friend's or something, and it was not appropriate for me to be like,
rooting through
did you use our coupon code? But let me tell you, I wanted to so bad, but I was just like, shout out to you for having Liquid IV. But
are
you even getting 25% off? Probably not. Use our code.
God, I think you should. It's always a good time to proselytize hydration.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be an epic documentary roundup.
Oh, yeah.
My gosh.
I love these.
Obviously, I have to lead with the Beatles documentary.
Oh, I was going to ask you. I was also going to ask you. I need to log into that.
Yeah. Right. That is on Disney Plus. And
tell me.
I have not watched the whole thing because I have a child, and it's like a gazillion hours long.
Good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not complaining.
Right.
I am psyched, but it is transcendent, of course.
Did you cry?
Yeah, and I cried within the first 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh! I love
It's not
this.
like there's something that happens that made me cry. It was just
it's just warm feelings.
watching geniuses at work doing something that I cannot believe. The whole time you sit there and you think, I can't believe I'm watching this. I cannot believe I get to see this. Like, you get to see Paul just, messing around on his guitar, and 2 minutes later have the song Get Back. Or,
oh my God!
John and whoever talking about, where should we put this amp or this thing on this set design? And in the background, you can hear Paul writing Let It Be.
Oh, that gives me chills. Why does it do that for us? Why is it so powerful?
Well, in this case, it's like compounded because we had no idea this was even in the world, that you could be able to watch it. And so it feels just like it feels like a miracle. That's what it feels like.
I just saw the preview for it, and it's one where it's so special. I'm almost like you don't want to start it because you know it's going to end. I'm like one of those people who doesn't want to read the last chapter of a book. I know this is crazy.
I know what you mean.
If you are in our book club, then you have heard me talk about this. But it's because you just don't want things to be over. So when you were like, oh, it's long, I'm like, oh, thank God. That means it's like I start it and then I instantly am sad that it's going to be over.
Yeah.
What is the deal with that?
Well, because it's such a gift, and it's just, you want to savor it and treasure it.
Yeah.
But then when it is done, there's not going to be another thing like this.
No.
It's once in a lifetime.
And then just the images looked so clear and so not like what you'd expect. It did look almost like computerized.
You feel like you're there.
Yes, it's crazy.
It was so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
How come they waited till now?
That's a good question. I do not know what caused the timing of that.
Yeah. Maybe, I wonder if it was something with how they could, remaster the footage.
Yeah, maybe.
The technology available.
He did such a good job, Peter Jackson, of editing it.
Oh, my gosh, Peter Jackson did it too?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a beautiful thing. I encourage everyone to watch it.
Like Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson, right? Okay.
Yeah. Even if you don't think you're a big Beatles fan, it's just incredible to see them create these cultural masterpieces, truly, right before your eyes.
Super cool.
Yeah.
I love
so
that.
Watch that. The Von Dutch documentary, which is on Hulu.
Oh my God.
Did you watch that one?
Yes. I'm not through it all the way through. I think I have one episode left.
What are you thinking about it? If you're not familiar, it's the company with the trucker hats, that was ubiquitous in the early aughts. And then this is just a 3-part doc about the company.
I still don't think any of them really own it. I still think they're all stealing from the original dude.
Oh, that guy, at the beginning you meet basically 3 or 4 people that all say they created Von Dutch.
Yeah.
And by the end, you're sort of like, wait, so who did?
Right.
Don't you think the answer is all of them?
Yeah, well, and when the artist, the Von Dutch, whatever his first name was, I can't remember, and that wasn't even his real name.
Right.
He said he had some writing that said, or some journal that said, no, none of my art is mine. Everything is a ripoff or a copy of something else. Yeah. Feel free to take it.
Nothing's original.
Nothing's original. Mm-hmm. And they really took that and were like, okay. Mm-hmm. And so it's all these guys were like, I started. It's basically everything that Von Dutch touches, or anybody that took that brand and used it, was cursed.
Yeah, that's, I think, the name of it, right? The Curse of Von Dutch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really felt like it.
Yeah, but it's weird how they all want credit for what is now seen as basically garbage.
It is.
It's not like
garbage.
anybody thinks Von Dutch is awesome now.
Man, I remember when I thought it was cool for like a second.
Well, it was cool for a second.
Yeah, it was. It really was like a second. And I remember it, already being mad at it when it came out, like Von Dutch like stuff, because I was already tattooed with those stuff. So it looked like, I was like, no, I had this before.
Yeah, it was like celebrating hot rod culture and pinups and stuff, which Sarah had already, the rockabilly phase that she went through.
Yeah, right.
And
done that.
So you felt like I liked it before it was cool.
I got all this because of this. So I didn't like it at the time because I was like, no. I remember I had one hat that was like an embroidered, Von Dutch kind of hat. Mm-hmm. And I was too embarrassed to wear I never wore it.
So there's no picture of you wearing it? Because I would like to see that.
That would be amazing, but there is not.
That period of time in Hollywood is fascinating to me.
God, right? What's your favorite part?
It was like the dawn of reality TV, but more importantly, the dawn of reality culture and how everyone could be a celebrity. It was just at the beginning of that with like Paris Hilton.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
it's like
everything was sort of plastic and gross.
Ah, so gross.
Yeah. And Von Dutch is just an important little part of that. But doesn't the docuseries make you think about Hollywood and LA and how everyone is just like exploiting each other and then they just bleed each other dry and then they run away?
This is what I'm saying about why every time people are like, oh, where are you from? I'm like, LA, but I was born and raised there. I did not move there. I like have a whole spiel, like when people ask me where I'm from or like where I live, I was like, but let me tell you the whole story. And also I'm getting out of there and I can feel it. And then
it's soul crushing.
I don't know who I was talking. I think I was talking to my mom about this or whatever it is. One of the other reasons, it's like everything in LA, a lot of it is like you get by on it's like quid pro quo, like what you can trade and what you could do for somebody.
Yeah.
I happen to have a job where I ethically cannot do that.
Yeah.
So nobody can. No, there's nothing I can give
You're
or
of
provide.
no value then.
I'm of no value.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a therapist? They either want to use me as a free therapist, which I'm not in the mood for, and or that's it. And so that
Yeah, you got to hit the road.
I got to hit the road.
You got to cut the Colorado bangs.
Cut the right.
Okay, the last one I'll do for now, even though I have about 1 million. Okay, what do you want to hear about? Alanis, the Alanis documentary?
Oh, yes.
Or
Already
the
sold.
Janet Jackson?
Oh, Alanis.
Okay.
Alanis.
Well, the Alanis one, that was in the Music Box series on HBO. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you remember, but she said, don't watch it. Do you remember that?
Yeah, this is my friend Jessie, shout out to Jessie, said she just watched it and she loved it, and that Alanis, I was like, is this the one that she didn't like? And she was like, well, it was really positive about her. That was her takeaway.
It was, yeah.
Tell me what.
Okay, well, I liked it too, and I will tell you the full story, but I want to tell you one other thing that I really like, which is Ana Luisa jewelry.
Oh,
I have to.
I'm wearing I never take off my paperclip necklace. You'll see it in all my photos. I'm wearing it right now. I freaking love this toggle paperclip necklace. I even wear it when I take a shower, and it stays fine.
Yeah, totally. You can do that with nice jewelry.
Yes.
I have to give you an update, though, because I bit the bullet and I got my third holes redone.
Oh, fun on your ears.
Yeah,
we were talking about this.
Ana Luisa is basically responsible for me getting another hole in my head because I really wanted to wear a bunch of the diamond
now I need to
studs.
Do it.
Yeah, because it's so fun and I'm so enjoying it. And they look so pretty and sparkly. But anyway, the jewelry itself is classic, well priced, fair prices. In fact, I accidentally dropped one of my studs down the drain. I'm going to have to post a picture of Adam going in and getting it. because I was like, I can't let this go. I love these babies. But they have jewelry starting at $39. Really timeless, beautiful pieces. Would make a great stocking stuffer.
Yes.
And they have new collections released every Friday. I absolutely recommend checking out Ana Luisa. URL is shop.analuisa.com/braincandy. I love them. Their pieces start at $39 with sales up to 25% off. Hello, get your holiday gift on shop.analuisa.com/braincandy. And they're just beautiful. Rings, earrings, necklaces, whatever, bracelets.
Yes. Oh, I love some big, chunky cocktail gold rings.
Me too.
For the
I
holiday
love
season.
Ring. Yes.
And then you just like, I love that. And even a photo, it just looks good with like a ruby red drink and a black nails and a gold ring.
So festive.
I love it.
Friggin' bats.
Friggin' bats.
So the Alanis one, she said in like September when it premiered at a film festival, she was like, I disavow or whatever this film, even though she participated and gave these extensive interviews. She claimed she was exploited and preyed upon during a vulnerable period of postpartum depression.
Oh, goodness.
And that she felt that once she saw the final cut, that she felt that they had this sort of agenda that she didn't realize and that it was not accurate. But it's weird because she's the one telling the story in her interviews, so it's hard to know what she's mad about.
What do you think the agenda was, if you had to guess?
Well, the only thing that I could imagine that she didn't like was that she spoke about the producers and people in the business that kind of, I don't know, preyed upon her when she was like 15. And she referred to them, she was like, I used to think it was consensual. Now I know it was, statutory rape and they're all pedophiles. That was the only thing I could think of that she would have regretted saying. But she didn't name names and she didn't finger anyone specifically. So I don't know. But otherwise, I guess the only other thing that kind of felt awkward was when she was questioned about why her whole band was men when she was supposedly trying to elevate women in the industry.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
that was the only moment. She was sort of like, well, yeah, I could have had an all-female band, but, like, I picked the people that were the most talented. But those things are minor. It wasn't, like, as scandalous at all.
What if the agenda is making somebody seem better than they appear, or than they, producers, or what if, you had an agenda, like they were on the side of, like they didn't tell the full story that may have been darker?
Maybe. But when she said she had postpartum depression, it sounded like she was saying, her point of view was darker than it would be otherwise,
I see. Okay. Oh, I can't wait to see it.
But if I hadn't read that, if I hadn't read her statement, I would have thought this is such a celebration of Jagged Little Pill and that moment in her career when things blew up, and that's it. That's all it felt like. It was fun. Fun to watch.
Well, I want to watch that. Yeah, because I went to that concert. Jagged Little, she is phenomenal.
I mean,
she's okay. So Garbage opened for her, and
Shirley Manson.
Shirley Manson. So you got a nice kind of comparison of somebody who's clearly been honing her craft and has not stopped being a performer and writing and doing music and just being in it. You can tell she was a musician and still that. And Shirley Manson just seemed unrehearsed, not like she hasn't been, she was somebody who had a run in 20 years ago, and it's been maybe 10 years since she's
like a nostalgia act or something.
Yeah, that she wasn't like currently like doing this, because it's kind of like a muscle you got to keep working out, right?
Well, and Shirley was in the documentary too, so they clearly are friends.
Yeah, and it's just like, and she was still great. It was just like the stage presence, everything wasn't. It wasn't nearly at the same level, and it was like Alanis Morissette was performing like she was 28, 25, like a kid, like any of these other, like freaking like whipping her hair out. It was so good,
really,
like unbelievable good. Oh, I loved it. Anyways,
all right. Well, you can watch the doc, see what you think.
Yes, music docs. I love it.
Yeah, good times. I told I think it was in book club, maybe documentary club, that I wanted to talk about my not hatred, I shouldn't say that, my annoyance with Demi Lovato.
Yeah.
So I feel like I owe it to whether it was book club or doc club.
I wanted to know about that. I was like,
Demi Lovato annoys me so bad, and I don't know.
Let me tell you, there's this like about a very specific like pop culture genre of music that I don't know anything about. That like how like I know about rap and like hip hop, and you're like, what? You know about these like Taylor Swift, all this Adele, all that I don't know. So tell me what's going on with Poot.
Well, to be truthful, I'm not someone who really even knows Demi Lovato's music. I just know when I see them in the news, and they always annoy me. And I am using the proper pronouns, so this has nothing to do with that. This has to do with how they say dumb stuff all the time. Like
what?
Okay, so you know how like they almost died like from a drug over.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And they came back to life for whatever, and then that was a big thing, and then it started being all about the sobriety and also a lot about body positivity, because I think they say that they had or struggled with an eating disorder. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. These are important issues. Mm-hmm. But they tend to go too far. So, like, this was a few months ago, but they posted a picture from a yogurt shop.
Yes.
Of, like, a sugar-free yogurt option. Yeah. And they were like, hey, and they tagged the yogurt shop. You are triggering people
for fuck's sake,
with eating disorders by
saving people who are diabetic.
Right.
Okay.
And so they think that everything is like, it's just this overcorrection that I talk about with some of the younger kids, where they're on the right track. Like, okay, great. Mental health is important. Sobriety is important. Body positivity is important. But then they get off track, and then they think everything is out to get them, and that they have to call out stuff that is not a problem. Listen, Demi. This isn't about you, dum-dum. This is for, as Sarah said, people with health issues or diabetics who can't consume sugar.
Right.
And then when they were corrected and this was explained to them, they were like, well, I'm sure diabetics don't like it either, having their, issues broadcast. They don't mind.
They don't care. They're like, thank you for labeling that and making it so clear for me.
And for having an option for me.
And so I don't have to ask, and so I don't have to make it awkward. Yes. Oh, for fuck's sake. I don't like that. No.
Can it, Demi?
And here's the thing. They need to put more energy into the actual, and this is everyone in general who gets like, I don't know, it's overcorrection, this overcorrection. Yeah. That takes energy, it's like you're directing it at the wrong people. It's like, don't direct it at the yogurt shop. How about using that same energy to like talk to like people who are in politics or
For
like
real. Do literally anything.
or encourage people to like vote like locally so that you can like change these kind of like things that are actually important or like, you know, make it just seems like energy directed in the
calm down, Dem.
Yeah, I get that.
Or maybe use that energy and take a modern fertility test to see if you are fertile or if you have any red flags in your body, right?
Well, there you go. That's using that for something a little more positive.
If you are wanting to like demystify fertility and your egg count and your reproductive timeline and all these things that feel like question mark, modern fertility is such a great option for you.
Yes, get the answers that you are looking for about your own body.
Get insight on your own body by just getting a little pinprick on your finger, sending the sample off, and getting the results very quickly. And then you can have a consult with a nurse. But the beauty of it is it's so affordable. So right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/braincandy. That means your test will cost $139 instead of several hundred or even $1,000+. It could cost at the doctor's office. Get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/braincandy. modernfertility.com/braincandy.
God, that is definitely cheaper than some of the doctor's appointment visits I've had.
That is for sure.
Yeah,
I just found even through my insurance, like I can just take a picture of like something on my skin and like upload it, and within a couple hours they were like, "Oh, you're fucking getting old."
What?
That's what that is.
This.
They called it some fancy name, solar lentigo or something, but it's like liver spots on your face.
Oh,
you know, like you're an old lady.
Getting old.
I was like, okay, good to know.
Oh well,
but for real, it is good to know.
Yes, it is.
It's empowering. Yes. Okay. So Sarah chose for November Book Club the Michael Pollan book, How to Change Your Mind, which she then did like a test of it. In Mexico, trying the old LSD.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure this is a result of the fact that hallucinogens have become popular in terms of maybe treatment for mental health. Mm-hmm. But now there's the pushback. I keep reading these articles that are like, okay, but here's the dark underbelly of this. So one such example was a New Yorker piece called The Trip That Doesn't End. And it just was talking about...
that's scary.
It is scary.
That's what I'm scared of. Yeah.
And so I guess some people could do a teeny tiny amount, just like Sarah did, and then their perceptual faculties get warped, and then it says their external senses can be marred by a constellation of mostly visual distortions, while the internal ones are paralyzed by a concoction of dissociative symptoms, panic attacks, and depression. So what I want to know...
That's actually living hell.
Right? Because the example they gave of this guy, he had just done a little bit. He had a real easy, mellow trip. And then he woke up in the morning and he looked at his alarm clock, and then he looked away and it did that streaking thing that like a digital clock can do if you are half asleep or something. But then it just never went away, and he eventually felt like he was walking around in a kaleidoscope.
Dude,
Wouldn't that be terrible?
When I did DMT years ago, maybe 5 years ago, and I after that couldn't look at a tile floor for I would see patterns in everything, and they would be just really intense for probably about 2 or 3 weeks afterwards. So, and it was so bad that I went to I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? And I went to a metaphysical shop, and I asked, I was like, here's the deal. I feel like I stepped into, I'm halfway in one place and halfway in another place, and I need to be all the way in one place. And she said that you need to do a lot of grounding exercises, a lot of things that connect you with this physical world here. So whatever that is, cater to your senses. So do things like mindful eating, and she examples of
That sounds like they don't actually know what you should do.
Well, that's the answer for everything, though. You know, it's like also in the book, what happened to you when you're dealing with trauma? It's everything. We got to like ground yourself. If you're stuck in the mind, you go into the body. It really is like that simple and that hard, you know? And so I get that, you know, I was in a drug and alcohol studies class a long time ago. It was like my first semester of college, and I was like 17. I was so young, and I signed up for this class because I was like, ooh, that sounds interesting. And I did not know that it was the mandatory class that you had to take if you got a drug, like, charge. Because I was in community college. So I was the only normie in the class who was also underage, who didn't know anything about drugs and had never taken anything. Like, for real. I was, like, not like that. I had never, I was such a square. I didn't smoke any weed until I was 21. So I was, like, in this class with a bunch of people who all had drug charges.
Stop. When you walked in, was that clear to you at the time?
It was after the first day when we went around and I was like, oh, one of these things is not like the other.
No.
It did kind of look like that in the class too. And one of the stories that the professor told, and he was great. He's one of the best professors I ever had. He said that, probably scared me straight from not doing a lot of these drugs too. He did a great job of that. Because he was like real and straight up of like, this is what's good, this is what'll kill you, or this is what's not good, or these are the dangers. And he said that somebody did LSD, acid. That's it. Acid is like the scariest word too. We need to like not call it that. It's like melting. It's like terrifying. And now always sees rain.
Oh.
That would drive me nuts.
No.
Like you're inside, but it looks like it's raining.
No. See,
that's that. These are the things that kept me. I was like, but it's all about where your mind's at.
Yeah.
These things are so.
Listen,
like,
this is why the more I keep reading, the more I come to love the book that I read called Sleeping Beauties about psychosomatic stuff.
Yes.
Psychosomatic illnesses. Because once I saw it from a clinical point of view, like here's what it is when you have something that people can't figure out, like you are catatonic, or even things like chronic fatigue or fibromyalgia. I mean, those are a little different, but you know, where people say that's all in your head, whatever it is.
Right.
I mean, like it is, but it doesn't matter because it's real.
Right. Yeah.
And in this article, it was talking about how severe anxiety is perhaps an underlying condition, and then this sort of triggers it. The use of the psychedelic mixed with your existing anxiety is just like a bomb of nightmare.
Yes.
But doesn't it make you think like it is not worth it? So now I'm reading your book for book club, but I'm like leaning towards like I'm not really sure I'm into it. We'll see.
You know, it is like that. It like I just feel like you have to look at what's the family history, what's like the, you know, if there's like a history of mental illness where like, you know, you have a parent who's schizophrenic, maybe don't.
Yeah.
And like look at those kind of things. It is important. And and then I think it's about like dosage too. That is the real.
When they say early on in your book, they say how it's the only drug that is informed almost entirely. Your experience is informed by your mindset and how you think it's going to go, and like your setting where you are in that moment.
Set and scene.
Too many variables.
It is, and it is when it's not in, when you don't have assistance. Like you can't, I feel like you can't just go into it.
Wing it.
No
way, man.
Right? Oh my God, I read a crazy article about a guy who does have a mental illness. I think he's bipolar, and he was in a manic episode, and he had recently seen a bunch of stuff about how mushrooms will help with depression, and so he brewed a mushroom tea and then injected it intravenously.
Okay.
Then, because it's a fungus,
right,
it started growing inside his
idiot.
body. And so basically mushrooms started growing inside his body. But like, it's not mushrooms, but just fungus. And it gave him like toxic poisoning. And he like started vomiting, and all this like terrible stuff happened after like a week. And then they had to put him on like antifungal medication.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Yeah, it was like a whole thing.
That's all I need. Fungus.
Right.
Come on.
But you're not injecting it intravenously, or you wouldn't do that, obviously.
No,
crazy.
Why would he do that?
I don't know. It's because he was not well.
If you want to do something better for your body, just drink a nice Huzzah seltzer.
I mean, that's way better, and no risk there.
Right.
All good, no bad.
All good, right? So you get your probiotics, you can support your healthy gut, and your taste buds will thank you.
Yes.
Delicious flavors, juicy pear, strawberry and hibiscus, raspberry and lemon.
Yes.
So nice.
You know what I just had the idea of? You know how there's that sparkling cider or whatever that everybody gets for like New Year's for kids and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
This
Right.
Well, you know my
Please.
favorite one, pear, in a glass, same effect, and probiotics.
Exactly.
I love this.
So festive, so fun. Really nice for mixers or just on its own. Get ready to fill your fridge by stocking up on Huzzah Probiotic Seltzer by using code BRAINCANDY for 20% off your order at drinkhuzzah.com. That's code BRAINCANDY for 20% off at drinkhuzzah.com. Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe like just meditate instead.
Yeah. This was the argument that I had with my mom of like when my mom was like, why don't you just try psychedelics? And I'm like, Mom, I don't want to. Yeah. And I said, it's like taking a tram to get up the mountain or walking up the mountain.
Yes.
Meditating is like walking up the mountain, and there's a lot that you get along the way. You get to like, it's a nice trip. It takes a lot longer. It's sometimes a little more difficult. And, there's no shortcuts to the top. But there's the experience, and you learn a lot along the way, and then you're more prepared for the next one.
Yeah, I think we should do that instead.
Yeah,
unless you're in a pinch,
then just do the drugs.
Just put that mushroom up your whatever vein.
Oh my gosh! Don't do any of the things that we say. Oh God, that makes me laugh.
Okay, so I did read an article about how the configuration of a week of 7 days is redunculous, and it really bothers me now.
All time. Tell me about what? Tell me.
Okay, this was in the Atlantic, and it was sort of saying, okay, days, months, and years relate to revolutions of celestial bodies. They have they're rooted in something bigger than us that is sensical.
Right.
But weeks, there's no reason to have 7 days. It makes no damn sense.
Doesn't.
And then it pointed something out, which really, I can't quit thinking about, which is when you think, let's say you think it's a Tuesday and it turns out to be Wednesday, and you feel disoriented in a way that you don't typically feel if you think it's like the 26th and it turns out to be the 27th. And that really, burrowed into my brain, because I was like, why are we so invested in the day of the week should feel like this? But we don't feel that way about the numeral of.
I swear it's I know what it is, because I feel like when I got on a regular, when I went from working retail or doing a job where I worked on the weekends to doing a job where I was off on the weekends, I could not get the song "Everybody's Working for the Weekend" out of my head. So, and I really thought about that so much, about how, man, when you know that there's a a break coming up, when you know that there's like you work differently at a job on a Tuesday than you do on a Friday.
Totally.
And that has to do with the weekend, the time off.
Yeah.
So it's the looking for, and I think that looking, there's probably some like reason why that's like that's about as many days as we can fucking take.
You know what?
We're like going to lose it.
The person interviewing this guy had written a book about the week. And the person interviewing was like, okay, so what is the story? Like, why are we so into this? And there are various theories. And one of them was like, one group of people thinks that it was like religions, because if religions sort of believe that this structure has existed since the beginning of time, then to change it would mean like, you know, Jews would have Sabbath like on Wednesday and everyone else would think it was that, whatever. But then they said one neurological explanation that's been suggested is that the 7-day week originated or survived because humans are good at memorizing things up to 7. Like that's why phone numbers are only 7.
That was what my first thing was like, oh, phone numbers are 7. What? And then I was like, no, that's dumb. Why would we have to memorize that? That is so interesting because there is something about 7.
Yeah. I mean,
interesting.
It's significant, and I get that, but like we really put a lot into this idea now. Even how we say, "Oh, I got to talk to my mom once a week." Well, why? Like, what is a week?
Right.
Or like, I got to vacuum once a week, or whatever it is. But we're just conditioned to think that is the appropriate amount of time to wait between activities. It's so strange. Even like piano lessons or whatever.
Yeah. What did come first? Where is the first mention of a week?
Right? And like, it said 150 years ago, people were like, this is stupid. What are we doing? Let's change it. Let's do 364-day years. And then like every 4th year, we'll have a blank day. Because that way, every, January 1st would be like a Monday, no matter what year it was. You wouldn't have this like shift each year.
No, I love that. It's so fun.
Right? That sounds
We
nice.
have to have this shift.
Yeah, like it's not too late.
Because if we don't, then if we don't have the shift, no, I don't want it to be like. Oh,
you like the shift.
Christmas always falls on a Tuesday.
You don't?
No.
Oh,
I love it when
like
it's a roll of the dice. Because what if Halloween was on a fucking Monday every year? Kill me.
What if we planned the whole calendar around it being like on a Friday?
Because then it won't make it as special some years.
Oh, for Pete's.
I just like it like that.
You like it to change
It doesn't
around.
have to be 5. It doesn't have to be 7 days. But I do want the randomization, which really isn't randomization. It's like one day over or whatever. And like,
yeah,
still.
but it is annoying.
But I love it.
I
love
what you mean. I kind of know what you mean, though, because those weirdos like Mary Lou Henner who they'll be like, what happened on Tuesday, July 4th, 1984? And she'll be like, oh, I was wearing blue. And, they have those kind of memories. Yeah. They annoy me. And what if everyone could do that?
Yeah.
That's the only way I can
That's
agree
a good
with you.
argument for why we need to.
Because Susie's annoyed by Mary Lou Henner.
See, now I was thinking something along the lines of we need to do a 3-4.
Let's do that.
3 days
Then
working, 4 days.
You just want to cut down on work.
No, I mean 4 days working. 3-day weekend. Because it seems like just do what firefighters do.
Yeah, pack it all in a few days.
Nurses. Like and I get because they're like on call and all that stuff, but like, that's better.
This is what ADHD people want. It's like, because you have manic episodes and you're like, I'll just do all my work on these 2 days.
Yes.
This wouldn't work for me. I'm
really?
too ritualistic. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Like every day's the same.
And I'm like, mix it up. Who cares?
Yes, totally. Okay, well, this
That
maybe is why nothing ever gets changed, because we can't all agree.
We can't all agree. Yeah, it's like it's too different. City mouse, country mouse. Thank goodness. I'm still anti daylight savings though. The end.
Me too.
Yeah.
We're on the same page about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't worry.
On the same page.
Okay. What else do I
Yeah,
want to talk
because
to
now
you
I'm like a different number of hours away from my mom, like than I was a week ago.
I do. That happens with England too. It's so annoying.
And it's like, what the fuck? What time is it?
Yeah.
And she's always like, what time is it there? I'm like, I don't like doing that.
I watched. I guess it's not a documentary. It was I don't know, 2020 or something. Mm-hmm. But I only saw it because it was on Hulu, and it was called House of Horrors. And you know,
what is this?
Okay, so you know how like every so often you hear about the kid, they found these kids and they were chained up or whatever.
Yes, the girls who were in the house.
Yes, Sarah, did you watch it?
Okay, I tried to watch that after a day of heavy therapy, like doing a lot of therapy sessions, and I had to turn it off because I was like, I need something lighter.
Yeah, that was it was a lot because, you know, like I said, these stories come up periodically where it's like, you know, these children are trapped in, you know, unsafe environment or abusive environments and their parents are hoarders or whatever and whatever.
God.
And so I expected it to be like that, and it was, but it was the worst I've ever seen, and it was these children, of which there were, I think, 14 of them or something, like,
oh my God,
so many that I don't remember the number. They were isolated so severely that when this girl finally got out and called the cops, and they were asking questions, trying to figure out, is she on drugs? Is she just crazy person? She didn't know what words meant. Like, the cop was like, are you on any medication? And she was like, what's medication? Like, she didn't know what words mean.
Oh, yeah. Because how would you?
But, you know, usually they have access to television and stuff, so they know references and they know words.
Like, when we say usually, these are the things that are like, usual in what sense?
I don't mean to make light of it by saying that. I just
No, I mean like that I think there are so many, I think there are way more of these cases than we.
Well, yeah, and they usually don't get out.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's why this girl's she's like a hero because she risked her life to climb out of the window and call 911 on a phone she found. And when they said, "What's your address?" she didn't know. And they were like, "Well, what street are you on?" She didn't even know how to find that out. She didn't know what a street sign was. And
wow, talk about abuse.
And just imagine if you were the 911 person thinking like, this isn't this is
a fake call.
It can't be that she doesn't know what she goes. I was walking down the middle of the road because I didn't even know what a sidewalk was.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
And
yeah, that's intense. I did not watch.
But it was so interesting to see her in the interview now because it's been, I don't know, 4 years or something. And she's so beautiful and articulate, but she still gets things a little bit wrong. Like she said, I was blown-minded, like she tries to use phrases but isn't quite sure how to apply them.
Oh, my God.
But the dad and the mom were fundamentalist Pentecostal Christians.
Oh, my God.
And I still, of course your only reaction is why? Why would you do that to your kids? Like, yeah. And I still don't get it. Who has 14 kids? And then the mom was like a shopaholic. She would buy all these clothes, but then she wouldn't let the kids wear them. So they were wearing like the most disgusting.
Oh my God. This is crazy.
The girl on the 911, she told their 911 lady, like, we don't get baths. The last time I had a bath was like a year ago. Stuff like that. But the mom's like eating all this food. And then if the kid would eat some of that food, they would chain it up for being disobedient.
Oh.
Just unbelievable.
My God.
Depravity.
Oh, my God.
So here's what I want to know, and I know I always do this to you, and it's annoying, but
I love it.
The dad was an engineer. He wasn't how you imagine, where it's just like poverty or something. He had a great job. Mm-hmm. He was well educated. He looked odd, but do you chalk this up to mental illness? Sociopathy?
No, I wouldn't think it's. I would think it's more in like this is somehow learned behavior, and there's something like
Controlling stuff.
Yeah, and like I think maybe is she running the show?
No, the dad was.
Really? Like he's the one who's like.
But it seemed pretty equal, but it seemed like he was beating her up too and stuff.
Yeah, okay. This is just like that. Then there's physical violence, like he's physically.
Oh yeah, he put them in cages and.
Oh yeah, that's learned.
Yeah.
That's like learned. That's he watched. This was modeled.
So they bastardize theology to justify the abuse. And they truly think that it's the right thing to do?
Well, it was whatever he was, like, what was modeled to him. So, yeah, I think that was probably, like... And then it gets reinforced when he grows up and he gets a wife and he has kids and he has a good job. And, well, it's probably because I'm doing all of these things that my dad did to me and, like, you know... Spoil the rod, spoil the child, whatever the phrases that he's got. Yeah, spare, whatever it is, you know.
By the way, I should say, because if you didn't see it, you should watch it because the oldest was like 30. The kids weren't all young. God. Like, they're full-grown adults that had, they said there was one kid who was like a preteen who had the arm circumference of a 4-month-old baby.
Oh,
like it's just you can't even believe that they got out.
I can't.
Without dying.
I can't believe that there's so many things that. Oh, yeah.
And they lived in a neighborhood, like in Riverside, California, and nobody noticed.
Freaks me out. I guarantee this is happening in different ways and. Oh, that's so scary.
But I would recommend it because it's something like that once you see it, it just really sticks with you. And it's a good reminder to be vigilant, too, I think. Kind of keep your eye out. Like like you said, this isn't as rare as we want to believe.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when you travel outside of the country now to a lot of places, there are signs up that say, like, this is what to look for human trafficking. Like this, I think this kind of stuff in that way too happens, you know.
Because if you are controlled, then it's really hard to get a way out.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a miracle that she got out and she was so brave. And anyway, it was amazing. Let's wind it down.
Oh man, good stories. Good roundup.
I love that you tried to watch it after like a day of therapy.
Yeah, I was like, a little too heavy. Let's watch Bob's Burgers.
Good choice, right? Let's see. What do we talk about? Well, we're mad about the challenge in reality TV.
Yeah, just like...
And that is not going away.
Not ever. Oh, my gosh.
The Beatles are a salve for a weary world.
Susie gave us a good rundown of some amazing documentaries that we need to check out. The Alanis Morissette one still leaves me asking questions.
Me too. Sarah's going to go get her Von Dutch hat out.
Oh, my God. It was pink.
And start wearing that again. Oh, my God. It was
What if
pink.
I did keep it? That would have been... I should have.
You should have. It's like a relic.
I know. To remember that. It's hard to predict.
Demi Lovato is apparently my enemy.
Apparently.
I don't know how that happened.
Well, you called her your enemy,
you and I
so...
She's my bugaboo at minimum.
Bugaboo.
But, I shouldn't have said she.
For it.
They are my
Yes.
bugaboo. And
Yes.
and also they're probably really nice.
Probably really nice.
When you're a child star, that can, create weirdness.
Yeah. It definitely does. You just need to be checked sometimes.
But whatever you do, don't do psychedelics without some sort of chaperone.
Yeah, you might see rain all the time.
Can you imagine?
No, I can't, which is why I was so, nervous and why I
glad you're
waited till I was
okay.
35. Yeah, I was fine. I was like, this is it? It's like, I did, barely anything, though.
Yeah.
It was
glad.
1/10 of, one dose of something.
And I've been enjoying seeing you guys getting our merch for the holidays.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
My God, those sweatshirts are so great.
So cute. I love when you guys tag us in them. And, yeah. That's all for now. We love you. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.